Hey y'all, welcome back to LawByJay. This is my second video, and this video is going to be dedicated to my LSAT journey. Just informing you all of the journey that I had. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, and all of that good stuff. I am very, very grateful that you all decided to tune in with me today. I promise y'all won't regret it. So, a little background story. I went to Johnson C. Smith University, majoring in criminology with a minor in pre-law. During my time at JCSU, I really did not know about the LSAT. I knew I had to get a bachelor's degree, but I didn't find out about the LSAT until I want to say ending of the sophomore year, junior year, beginning of junior year, somewhere around there. But after speaking with my advisor, I was like, okay, I need to find some resources. I need to reach out to a tutor. I need to do something because I personally hate standardized tests and I am not good at them. I really have bad anxiety. So I already knew. I was like, here we go. It's about to be a hot mess. So yeah. I reached out to a few companies, and these companies were talking about like $5,000 and more. Tutors were like $125 an hour, and I was just like, yeah, I can't afford that. So luckily my school did provide an LSAT preparation course my junior year, and I took it. During the course, I was doing really well. Like, y'all, I was the top student in that class. My professor would always tell me, like, you're going to do great on the real exam. So for our final exam, we had to take an LSAT. I scored a 158, which isn't, I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad being the first time that I'm taking this exam. So after getting that score, I'm like, okay, I am going to do good on the actual exam. Y'all, I don't know who told me that. But I went in there, so I ended up scheduling an exam, I think a few months later. I went into the exam, and I came out feeling like I had been beat up. We had 5 sections, 4 which were the actual parts of the test: logical reasoning, analytical reasoning, and reading comp. And plus, you had your experimental section, you had your writing. You only got 2 breaks. There were so many distractions because people had on glasses, they had on watches, so the proctors had to watch them. It was just a lot going on. But I came out of there knowing that I had messed up. I did. So instead of canceling my score, I was like, I'm going to keep it because I know at some point I'm going to do well, so I can reflect back on this. I scored a 131. I felt terrible. I was depressed. I cried. I was sad. I didn't even want anybody to know I had taken the test because that was ridiculous. I mean, on a scale from 120 to 180, it was just like, this is not my work. For someone that's gotten A's and B's all their life, I knew that this wasn't me. But at the same time, I couldn't allow a test to define me. So I had to snap back into reality. So I was like, okay, you can't give up. Fast forward, I ended up taking the test again. And this was, I want to say, this was spring of my senior year. So I scheduled the test for spring break. I think I took the March exam. So I was confident this time, y'all. I had hired a tutor. I mean, it didn't really work out between me and her, but it was okay because I learned from that experience. I learned which direction I need to go in. So on the practice exams, I skipped over that. Before I took the test, on the practice exams, I was back in the 150s, 160s. So I'm like, okay, great. Well, I took the test and I had a 6-point increase. I was devastated. I was just like, how does this happen? So I end up going to therapy because I'm like, somebody got to explain something to me. And my therapist helped me realize that, one, you know, my anxiety did play a huge factor into why I was scoring it low. But also I had to wake up and realize that I needed to put more work into understanding the test and mastering the test. So after that, graduation was coming up. So I was like, you know, I can't just go home and just focus on the test because I had to find a place to live. So I secured a job. So I thought I had a job at this large firm here in Atlanta, but they needed me to work immediately, and I told them I didn't graduate until May 19th. So they rescinded my offer. Broke my heart. I was depressed because I'm like, what am I going to do now? I needed that signing on money to get me an apartment. But lo and behold, my boyfriend came through and he was like, just come in, move in with me and I'll make sure you're good. So, boom, moved in with him. I got a full-time job. We moved out. So once we moved out and we got comfortable in our apartment, I was like, okay, back to the LSAT. So at this point, I'm working a full-time job and I'm studying. So this was 2020, and I started a study group. This was the first study group I started. It was myself, a guy, and another girl. We were all in different states, but we were using Power Score and Brad's material, and some of them had Troy's material and LSAT. We had all of this different material, and I was just like, this is not working for me. Excuse me. So they kind of fell off, and with them falling off, they stopped getting on the calls. I stopped getting on the calls for a minute, but then I started another study group, and it was 11 of us initially. It ended up only being me and one other person, and we studied consistently for almost a year. We studied every day except Sunday and some Saturdays from 4:30 until. So on Mondays, we would do review of the previous week. Tuesdays, we would do 3 sets of different question types. So we would do like 5 main conclusion questions, 5 parallel reasoning questions, and 5 must be true questions. And then we would do 2 different types of games. So we would do like an in and out, and maybe like a pattern game, any type of game. And then we would do 1 RC passage. And on Wednesday, we would blind review those questions before we looked at the answers. And on Thursday, we would do a new set of questions because we didn't get on Friday. So for me personally, on Saturdays, I would take practice exams. Not every Saturday, but I tried my best to be consistent with it. So after I would take those practice exams, sometimes I would get discouraged, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. If I didn't see like progress, I would be down, and my boyfriend would be like, look at it on the bright side. You see where you're messing up at, so just go in and try to learn from it. So what I did was I created a log, and this was my wrong answer log. Every time I got a question wrong, I would log the answer type. I would blind review it to see why I got it wrong, and then I would do more of those questions so that I can get them right. So moving forward, that's how I prep. So I finally scheduled. Actually, let me stop. I applied for a fee waiver. So the first time around when I went through this process, I didn't know about the fee waiver. But what my study partner, she told me about it, and I did more research, and I found out about it. I was approved. So with the fee waiver, you get 2 free tests, and they pay for your they waive your application fees, and they give you access to different LSAT resources, which was great. So once I got approved, I was on Law Hub. I was taking those exams, and I would just go in and keep blind review. So I scheduled for the June 2021 test. I took that test. But this time around, I was like, I need to go in with different energy. I need to feel like I have already defeated the exam. So my man and I went to Home Depot, and we made me a cubicle. We bought all of these little wood, plastic, I don't know what they were, y'all, but we made me a cubicle, and I spray painted affirmations on there, and I felt positive. I was like, this time I know I'm going to do well. Well, I didn't reach my goal score, but I did score 148. And I felt okay about that because I knew that it was progress, that I was seeing some of what I was putting in. So I took a break, and I got right back into studying. I started getting back on the call with my study partner every day from 4:30 until sometimes we would get on at 5 or 6. And no matter where I was studying. I don't care if we were going to a party or something, if I was riding with him and he was working on the car, whatever it was, I had my laptop bag and I was studying because I knew I couldn't continue to work a job helping these attorneys accomplish their goals at their firms while I'm not accomplishing my goal. Like, that don't even make sense. Um, so ultimately, I made a decision to quit my job and study full time. Granted, I couldn't study full time because I still had to make some type of money, but me quitting my job gave me freedom. And I prayed and I was just like, God, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I'm quitting this job because I need to get in law school. I put it off for too long and it has to happen. So from August until November, I studied every day. Every day. It was to the point where I felt weak sometimes. I felt like I was overstudying. I would even feel guilty if I didn't study. Like, I would be sitting down watching TV feeling guilty because I'm like, I could be studying right now. If I'm talking to my friends or I'm hanging out, I'm like, I could be studying right now. But I had to remember to give myself breaks because we deserve breaks too. Like, the LSAT is hard and they're making it harder. So with with that being said, I'm just having flashbacks because the Lord knows that test, boy. So yeah, I scheduled for the November exam. Mind y'all, this was my last free test, so I knew I had to do well. I knew I did. I studied my butt off. I was scoring when I was taking the prep test. I was scoring in the 155 to 165s. Like, the highest I scored was like a 168 on my practice exam. So I knew I was going to do well. I just didn't know if I was going to meet my target score or not. And mind y'all, my target score is not what I got, but I still got into law school. And okay, I'm skipping over pieces. Let me go back. So on my actual test date, which was my test date was supposed to be November 13th. I called my mom prior to that day and I was just like, hey, I need to come to your place because I need like a quiet environment and all of this stuff. Anyway, I get over there and the Wi-Fi is not compatible with the software, the testing software. So I'm panicking at this point. I am going crazy. I call my man. I'm like, I need you to come pick me up because I didn't drive. I didn't want to drive. He comes gets me. Yeah, I'm having a breakdown in the car because I am just like, this is my last chance. I gotta do well. I was crying. He went in the store. He bought me a stress ball. He like trying to calm me down. I'm like, man, I know you always trying to help me, but right now I'm just like feeling defeated. So I get in here. Let me tell y'all, I got work. I get in here. I sit down for the exam, and I was mad at first because my exam completely cut out. So I had to call Proctor U and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I was on the third or fourth section. I'm getting ready to complete and my exam just completely disappeared. It wiped out. So they're like, oh, no problem. Call LSAT. Tell them what happened. They'll reschedule. And I was so happy. I said God needed that because after having that breakdown, I wasn't mentally there. And I knew I wasn't going to do well. So I ended up taking my test November 23rd. That was the only rescheduled date they gave. So I took the test. It didn't take me that long. I felt good about it because I had mastered the games. The games was my strongest point. And I knew if I did well on that game section, everything else was going to flow in. So yeah, I took the test and I just basically mastered it off of my own materials. I bought Brad materials. His materials was really helpful, but it didn't go in depth the way I needed it to. So I made my own material based off a combination of everybody material, like the LSAT trainer, LSAT demon, 7 sage, Brad, like I said, LSAT lab, so many different resources. I just started to create my own material because I was tired of paying for material. So yeah, after taking the November test, I felt confident that I had done well enough to secure a seat, which I did. So December 1st was the score release date, y'all. Mind y'all, I was on the way home from work because I started back doing like contract work with different law firms. I'm on the way home from work and I started having issues with my car. So I called my boyfriend because, of course, he's a mechanic in his spare time. I'm like, babe, my car tripping. So I pull over, get off on Moreland Avenue. I'm like, here we go. Lord knows I don't want to be up here. So I'm on the phone with him, and I'm like, today is my test release day. And he was like, go look at it. We logged in at the same time. We logged in because I seen on my login. We log in and I see 154. I literally started screaming. I wanted to get out the car and jump around. I just cried because I have been on this journey since 2018. And I had to make so many sacrifices to get here. And that 154, along with everything else that I have done, finally secured me a seat. And I am so grateful because now I can share my story with you all. And if you all want me to, I will dive deeper into what I mean when I say I made my own material, because I know I really didn't touch on that, but I just wanted to give you all like a brief story time about my LSAT journey. But yeah, I was just, I cried because I worked hard. And I will say, like, with this LSAT, you have to make sacrifices. You have to choose, is it going to be working, or is it going to be using this person material, or can I go out today? Can I talk to my family today? You have to make those type of sacrifices because the LSAT is very time consuming. And sometimes you can't do the stuff that you want to do because the LSAT needs all of your attention. So I just say all of this to say, like, don't give up on your law school journey. Don't lose sight. Stay focused. Stay committed to it. If y'all have any questions, feel free to ask me. I am here. I am not a stingy person. People will tell you they've been asking me for my material, and I've been sending it to them because I don't care. I want to see everybody win. I want to see it the same way I got my acceptance letter from Georgia State University College of Law and all them other schools. I want y'all to experience that because it's so great being able to reap the benefits of all the seeds that you've sown and all the hard work and everything. So thank y'all for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, if y'all have any questions, feel free to drop them below. DM me on my Instagram page, LawByJay. Y'all can text me, email me, anything. I am open to providing as much assistance. Like I said, I'm no master at the LSAT. I did what I had to do to hit my score so that I can get in. But I will provide assistance as much as I can. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all next time. Bye.